in my opinion, Marvel Studios and Disney are making a huge mistake if this report is true at this point. I'm pulling this from comicbookresources.com. Marvel Studios reportedly planning to recast T'Challa for upcoming Black Panther appearances. According to Hollywood scooper Jeff Snyder, Marvel Studios is currently searching for a new actor to play T'Challa in future projects. Quote, with Marvel reshuffling the deck in advance of Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and Robert Downey Jr. coming back, not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom, I'm told that the door is firmly open for T'Challa to be recast via the magic of the multiverse. End quote, he said via the Direct. And just remember, boys and girls, and I want to hammer this point home, every single time Avengers Doomsday keeps getting brought up, remember, it was originally going to be called Avengers the Kang Dynasty before the Jonathan Majors stuff blew over. But anyway, that's a tangent not really related to this video. I just wanted you to know that Avengers Doomsday was originally called Avengers the Kang Dynasty. Quote, I heard that an actor was actually offered the role this past fall, a couple months after Downey's big reveal at Comic-Con, but they turned it down, not wanting to jeopardize their career momentum by stepping into Boseman's gigantic shoes, which may be too big to fill, even for Hollywood's most talented black actors, he continued. Although it remains unclear if the character will appear in the upcoming Avengers movies, Snyder believes that the newly cast T'Challa will lead Black Panther 3. Snyder also revealed that Black Panther director Ryan Coogler will be actively involved in the recasting process to ensure that everything will be handled with the utmost care and in consultation with Boseman's family. Marvel previously ruled out recasting the character for 2022's Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Excuse me. Instead, T'Challa was written out of the story, having died from an unnamed illness. Letitia Wright Shuri later took up the Black Panther mantle. Boseman first appeared as Black Panther in 2016's blah 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 blah. We don't need to hear about that. But anyway, if these reports are true, in my opinion, Marvel is making a gigantic mistake in recasting T'Challa, because if they wanted to recast T'Challa, they should have done that with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. They shouldn't have killed him off. Is the big issue. And I know, I remember saying at the time that it was a good thing that Marvel was not going to recast Chadwick Boseman's role, because if they recasted T'Challa for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, it would have been seen as very disgraceful. And the example that was often used was Heath Ledger's Joker. Right? People forget that Heath Ledger's Joker was originally going to have a much larger role in The Dark Knight Rises. And then what happened? Well, Heath Ledger died. So instead of recasting Heath Ledger's Joker, Christopher Nolan and David Goyer went back and completely rewrote The Dark Knight Rises to write the Joker out of the movie, and that's why The Dark Knight Rises was delayed by a year. The Dark Knight Rises was originally scheduled to come out in 2011, but again, it was delayed to 2012, largely for revisions, and it was mostly to write out the Joker instead of recasting, the Joker within the Dark Knight series. Now, yes, the Joker has since been played by other actors. He was played by Jared Leto, unfortunately, in 2016 Suicide Squad. But Suicide Squad does not take place in the same continuity as Batman Begins the Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Zach Galifianakis voiced him in the Lego Batman movie, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong, but I do believe it was Zach Galifianakis that voiced the Joker. And then most recently, Joaquin Phoenix played the Joker in the standalone Joker movie, along with its sequel, Joker Fully Due. But again, Suicide Squad, Lego Batman movie, and Joker and Joker Fully Due all took place in different continuities. So that's how, Warner Brothers and DC avoided the backlash. But if they wanted to recast T'Challa, if Marvel wanted to recast T'Challa, they needed to do it at the time of Chadwick Boseman's death. And I am actually reminded of a little show on Starz called Spartacus. And the first season, that was Spartacus Blood and Sand, was a massive hit for Starz. But the actor that was cast to play Spartacus, I believe his name was Andy Whitfield. I am going to fact check myself very, very quickly. So I will be right back. I will resume recording very, very quickly. Yes, I was correct. It was Andy Whitfield that played Spartacus during the first season. That was Spartacus Blood and Sand, which was ravely reviewed. But then he got diagnosed with skin cancer, and so originally, like now the producers have always said that they wanted to do a prequel series to Spartacus Blood and Sand. But they didn't want to do it as quickly as they did. But once Andy Whitfield got his diagnosis for skin cancer, they immediately got Spartacus Gods of the Arena into production. They did not start working on the second season of Spartacus without Andy Whitfield. Well, at some point, it became very clear that Andy Whitfield's chances of beating the cancer diagnosis were getting much slimmer and slimmer. So what did the producers do? They just recast the role. They recast the role of Spartacus. However, a very, very important point, they didn't just do this in a vacuum. News reports at the time indicated that that Andy Whitfield, sorry, I had a thing in my throat, but Andy Whitfield had given the producers his blessing to just go ahead and recast his role as Spartacus, and that's when Liam McIntyre came in and took over the role of Spartacus, and he took over seasons 2 and 3. So, again, a recasting of a major character has happened before. Now, Andy Whitfield did ultimately succumb to his skin cancer back in 2011. But still, Spartacus did not end with the death of Andy Whitfield. It continued on with Liam McIntyre, but once again, there were news reports at the time that were saying that Andy Whitfield had given the production team behind Spartacus his blessing to just go ahead and recast his role, because again, it became clear as time went on that, the odds of him successfully beating his cancer diagnosis were getting slimmer and slimmer. Marvel should have done that in 2020 with Chadwick Boseman, when it was becoming very, very clear that the cancer was going to take him. Is Marvel Studios and Chadwick Boseman, even if they did this virtually, should have sat down together and really hammered it out and basically hit with the reality, like, okay, look, Chadwick, okay, the odds of you beating this cancer diagnosis is getting slimmer and slimmer by the day, and we don't want the Black Panther character to die. Is it okay if we go ahead and recast your role? Chadwick Boseman may have gone for it. We don't know. Okay, if saying this now is just pure theory and speculation. We don't actually know how these talks would have gone down, because these talks reportedly never fucking happened when they should have. So if Chadwick Boseman does succumb to his cancer diagnosis, at least you have someone new that can take over the role for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and then you can have the same type of press that Starz' Spartacus series had, with the whole mantra that, Chadwick Boseman did give Marvel Studios his blessing to just go ahead and recast his role, because, well, as time was going on, the odds of him beating the cancer were getting slimmer and slimmer, and Chadwick Boseman expressly stated that he did not want Black Panther or T'Challa to die with him, something to that effect. Again, it's all just theory and speculation, but the problem with waiting until Black Panther 3 is that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever already happened, and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was effectively a 3-hour tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and now you're using this multiverse bullshit to get around the idea of, now we can just recast Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa and just say it's the multiverse. It looks like a very scummy fucking reason. Whereas they should have done this back in 2020, as I said, when it was becoming more and more clear that he was not going to beat the cancer diagnosis, And then it's like, and then look, Chadwick Boseman gave his blessing. We could recast the role, and then just start running with the new guy from that point on. Don't hide behind this multiverse bullshit when this is something you probably should have done, back in like 2020, 2021. Yes, it would have been a gut punch at the time. It could have been seen as disgraceful. But if the news was getting out there that Chadwick Boseman had given his blessing, and there were multiple people that were close to him, like his longtime girlfriend or his mother, anyone close to him that could confirm that, yes, Chadwick Boseman really gave Marvel Studios and Disney his blessing to recast T'Challa because he said something to the effect of that he did not want Black Panther or T'Challa to die with him. It would have been a gut punch, but it would have been less severe because, okay, at least the guy was behind it. And you have some people on Twitter that are saying, enough time has passed. It's time to recast Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa. They're not wrong when they say that, yes, enough time has passed. What I don't like is that if the reports are true, and I want to stress, this report might not be true at all, because for every quote unquote inside scoop that sites like Comic Book Resources or Screen Rant or Hollywood Reporter get, for every scoop that turns out to be true, there's like a minimum of like 5 or 10 that don't actually come to fruition. This could all be absolute bullshit. But if these reports are true, and they're going to recast T'Challa and hide behind the multiverse, in my opinion, this looks way more scummy than if they had just recast him at the time of Chadwick Boseman's death and just taken that gut punch early, rather than multiverse type thing. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. Let me know what you guys actually think in the comments. I hate ending videos like this, but do you feel that enough time has passed between Chadwick Boseman's death and the release of Black Panther 3, or should they have recast him all the way back for Black Panther Wakanda Forever? I hate to leave it open, but again, I really don't know how I feel about the situation personally. Like I said, at the time, I said that it was a good call to not recast Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa because it would have been seen as disgraceful. But looking back, hindsight is always 20/20. Looking back, I'm now starting to think that maybe they should have just recast him back after he died or in 2021 and just taken the gut punch then rather than taking the gut punch now. But anyway, that's just my opinion, and I don't want to influence yours if you feel any differently.